Hey, Rich Tyson coming at you from a very special property here on Longboat Key. When the existing owners purchased this property, they fell in love with the house, many of the original details, but wanted to bring their own sense of style to the property. Through consultation with Pecky and a build out by Trinity Construction and Design, we have this amazing home that we're standing in today. Come take a look. So the client provided a few criteria for the renovation. What were they?
They asked us when we first met them to come in and try to meld modern design with the classic design of this home because they love the integrity of the home as they purchased it, but they are lovers of modern design. And secondly, they really wanted a place of reunion for their family. They're a very busy family and they wanted the Florida home to be the home that all of their kids could come home to, where they could all be together and kind of have that relaxing time together.
Was there a portion of this build that was something you guys have never done before?
You know, this was a build that had challenges, but not anything we've never done before. I think that maybe one of the really cool things that we did here was I really wanted the refrigeration system in the wine room to be discreet. I didn't want to see ventilation covers, and so we developed a plan, and you can take a look at it, but we actually pulled the mirror off of the back wall and created a void behind the mirror, and that's where the return air goes into the refrigeration system. And then the supply for the refrigeration system actually comes out in the ports below the cabinetry. So you can't see any of the flow, but we're able to maintain 52 degrees, and the unit's not running more than it should. It turned out to be an amazing design, but that was something that I just really wanted to make sure that we hit a home run on. It was really important to me. And then again, I think the lighting in there as well posed some challenges, and again, take a look at it because I think you'll find that we thought through everything on that one.
So as a creative person, is it more or less difficult to create a vision for a client when they provide little in terms of a vision for the project?
It can go both ways. It's a loaded question because you're always really wanting to find that sweet spot with the homeowner where you understand their vision, but then you can come in and elevate their vision to really show them things that maybe they didn't think about. And you have to really get to know them, how they're gonna live in the home, use the space, and where everything that you're gonna show them they're gonna love.
What part of this build are you most proud of from an execution standpoint?
It kind of goes back onto the same theme. I think that melding the older classic, and maintaining those finishes and protecting those finishes, and then combining them with the new modern. I think that is probably one of the things that I'm most proud of. But there's again, I'll go the wine room. There was a lot of thought there, and if you look closely at the work that was done in the primary suite. The closet space in the primary suite is incredible, and a lot of really great marble details in the floor and the cabinetry throughout, but in that space for sure.
There's a lot of wood details in here. What's original? What's new?
90% of the floors in the home, it's all natural walnut. We removed all of the baseboards and we refinished the floors. We sanded them down, took about 1/16 of an inch off of all the floor coverings, got all the way back down to the natural wood again, and then refinished the wood floors. That took about 2 weeks in our project. It really cut into the project because nobody else could be here while we were doing that work. We gave the project to the wood floor refinishers. So all the floors, with the exception of a couple areas that we added later, but the beams throughout again are walnut, and those were existing, but we did have to go through and we did have to touch them up, and we had drywall work that was adjacent to the beams, so we had to be very careful redoing the drywall and respraying texture and protecting everything. But like I said, most of the base was removed and then replaced again. A lot of window casings had to be removed and replaced because we did a full window replacement on this home as well. So, but we were able to salvage a lot of the existing trim, which was also important to the owner because we don't want to be, we don't want to be wasteful, and it made sense to salvage some of that trim and reuse it. So we did that in a lot of places too.
Walking around the outside, I see the pool looks like it's been here a while, but it also looks, quite fresh. So is that a new installation, or was that modified in some way to give us what we see today?
Generally the owners were happy with the pool the way that it was, but they weren't in love with their pool deck. So we looked at it, and we provided an option to basically leave the pool finish as is, maintain the existing coping, but then we removed all of the pavers that were surrounding the pool, and we installed a really nice porcelain product that it meshes well with the existing finishes. That's the whole thing that makes me excited. We're able to take the old and meld it in with the new, and it looks like it's meant to be.
Can you tell us a little bit about Pecky and your role specifically within the company?
Yeah, absolutely. Pecky Interiors has been in business in Sarasota for about 10.5 years. We just had our 10-year anniversary this year in March. I actually came on with them in December of the year that they opened, so I'm coming up on my 10-year anniversary with Pecky. And the owners, originally opened it as a high-end interiors and furnishings showroom, like a boutique showroom that also offered interior design services. And I was kind of fresh out of college when I moved down here in 2012 and came across Pecky and met the owners, Patricia and Peter Estes, and we hit it off immediately. So I came on board with them, and my goal was really to help the business grow on the interior design part of that. So it was kind of like a meant to be situation, I think, for all of us. And my role initially when I started, I wore many hats in the business because we were a small business that was brand new. So I took care of the showroom, it was a very small staff, and then I was also managing some smaller projects under Patricia Estes, the owner. And over the years, as I gained more experience, I started to take on my own clients, and now I'm senior designer at Pecky and get to work on these magnificent homes and get to meet these wonderful clients and develop these great relationships with builders like Trinity.
So understanding that you guys replaced all the windows throughout this property, what changes did you make in the implementation of the new ones?
Well, we did a really good job, and we really studied the existing openings. So we were able to get windows that slid right back in place and fit really well. But during that process, we were analyzing the cedar trim that was used on the exterior as trim to surround the windows, like an exterior casing. And we noticed that it had some shrinkage and had kind of failed in a few places. So we recommended a fly ash material called Boral to the owner. And he thought that was a great enhancement because it's rot resistant. It doesn't have it has very little shrinkage. It's paintable like wood, and in the end, it's a very, very low maintenance material. So he loved the idea. So we bought the material and sent it to a mill shop to have them modify some of the corners and ease the edges so it matched perfectly what was here before.
Jay was really excited to show me the fireplace when we came in. He said you brought an amazing idea to that. So can you tell us a little of what took place with that transformation itself?
Yeah, absolutely. The original fireplace, it's actually the same firebox. So we didn't change out the firebox itself or the glass covering. But the original fireplace was a black marble surround with white painted woodwork, mantle and accents. And then I think the mantle was actually painted black as well. So it matched the other woodwork that was in the room, but it was very traditional and just felt very heavy with all of the black in the space right there, front and foremost. And there was also a lot of painted trim on the actual wall on the stack going up. So it was kind of a point of contention throughout a lot of the project whether or not that was going to be refaced. And I talked to the client about it several times, and finally, they agreed, yeah, let's go ahead and update it and modify it, because I wanted it to be more of a kind of clean, modern design for the fireplace as the focal point in that formal living room. So I got to work looking for some inspiration images, because I find that it's easiest to talk to clients and identify things through pictures that they like. So we found a couple of pictures that were beautiful stone surrounds and mantles, and I took some inspirations from those pictures and designed the new surround and mantle provided a dimension layout of that to Jay, and he in turn used a local stone supplier to custom make this new limestone surround mantle and hearth, and then we matched the new facing around the firebox to the beautiful Taj Mahal countertops that are in the kitchen, so that it helped tie that in. And then we have an amazing Venetian plaster artist who did the wall texture from floor to ceiling.
So seeing that you kept a lot of the existing home intact, what part of the new design presented the biggest challenge to you?
Well, I think that the biggest challenge was we started with a design and knowing that we needed we needed a design on paper to get a permit, also knowing that it probably wasn't going to be the final design. So I think the biggest challenge was that the scope was changing a little bit as during the demolition phase and in the beginning of the project. It was changing a little bit, morphing a little bit from where we started. So the biggest challenge there was to try to continue on a path to keep the project moving, to keep momentum while making those changes and trying to understand what the final outcome would be. So I think that was probably the biggest challenge.
The biggest challenge with this project for me was probably melding the old with the new, which I find to be a challenge in any project. In a perfect world, everything's new, so you just get to dream it up and create it. But this project specifically, the homeowners wanted to keep the integrity of the home as it was because it's such a spectacular property. And they also had a lot of their own interior furnishings and things that they wanted to use in the home. So getting a list of all of those things, pictures of all of those things, and then advising on where those things might best be used in the home to create the outcome that they wanted. And then bringing in the new components as well to complete the spaces. And in the new finishes that we specified, all of the new cabinetry, tile, stonework, lighting, colors, the wall textures, all of those things. Just making sure that we had a cohesive palette and outcome in the end was probably the biggest challenge.
Were there elements of the existing property that pushed or guided your creative vision in a certain direction?
Yes, absolutely. So I'm sure that you've noticed the exterior of the home is overwhelmingly classic, coastal, and white. And when you walk in the front door, you're greeted by this gorgeous 25-foot ceiling with this giant picture window looking straight out into Sarasota Bay and the Longboat Key Bridge, and all of this gorgeous white painted classic woodwork. So we really wanted to make sure that we were honoring those elements of the home that the homeowners really loved, but still updating the other areas that desperately needed it, but still melding in that modern look that they wanted.
So what was it like working with Pecky on this project?
Well, we get tremendous support from Pecky Interiors, from their ownership to their designers and managers. Really, the collaboration and the organization and what their team carries is phenomenal. They win the client's confidence over very quickly in the project. They are very good at communicating their vision for the project. They're also very good at listening what the owners are looking for. So I see that and I hear it, and it makes me confident as well. It's really special in the way that they see the process, and so like as a builder, there's very important steps and processes, and to keep the momentum of the project going. Well, the staff and the designers at Pecky Interiors understand that, and so they're sometimes ahead of us a little bit, and they're providing information before we even ask for it. So very, very good from that aspect as a builder. It's an exceptional quality to have from a designer. And again, just the confidence that they get from the owners, it shows through, and it makes these projects turn out special, and they exceed expectations. It's a great team.
What's it like working with Trinity Construction on the execution of the ideas you bring to the table?
Trinity always exceeds my expectations, and I love working with them because I can come to the table with my ideas, oftentimes some very basic layouts and drawings to kind of show them the concept of what I'm looking to create. And then I provide them with my materials selections and specifications, and they come in and execute in such a way that we always get a flawless finish. And they really take pride in the quality of their finishing, and so do we. So it's really a great partnership that we have when we work together on projects.
What's your favorite part of this project?
This is a really cool project from the standpoint of The owners had a vision. They really loved the classic style of the home, interior and exterior, so they wanted to maintain a lot of finishes while uplifting the home in other areas. So I think that the melding of the old classic with the new modern touches, I think, is my favorite part of it. Again, this house is incredible from room to room. There's a surprise in every room, and or more than one surprise in every room. I really love that aspect of it. I think that really summarizes it.
Well, other than the view, I love the wine cellar that we added on upstairs, which was a huge undertaking and a big team effort to bring that to life. And then I also really love the primary suite, closet, and bathroom.
If you've got a property like this in the Sarasota area that you'd like to have showcased, or if you're considering selling a property of this caliber and you'd like an agent that's well-versed in how to properly market it, reach out and be well.